Yeah. About 3 days more for us to end the 50-day challenge. Yeah, it's getting tougher, even though I'm no longer even though I'm no longer fully engaged in the challenge. But what happens is that learning is a continuous process. So even though I'm not following the 50-day challenge because I am done with my goals and objectives and then outline for the 50 days, um, looks like learning just becomes tougher, but the goal is to enjoy the process and not to enjoy the destination. So, yeah, it's fun. Over the week, we've been in Japan and then in the kitchen. Yeah, taking theories, building mindsets, taking lessons from these places. But today we are moving straight into the F1 race. Yeah. And F1 race. Yeah. So that's what we are doing today. Okay. Um, when the F1 race started, they usually so there's when they race, they don't race continuously. They have to pause at a point and then refill their tanks, change tires and the likes. And teams realized that that was taking chunk of their time. So what they had to do was that technology advanced. A lot of things happened. And it will shock you that it takes less than 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh, my fingers are not showing. It takes less than 2 seconds to replace the four tires of the F1. And it's interesting how they are able to do this. Like, how do you replace the tire of the four tires of a car in less than 2 seconds? Like one, two. And it's actually 1.8 seconds. And that's really interesting. So today we will focus a little bit on the pit crew. So the pit crew, they are the ones in charge of replacing the car there. So how do they do this? Number one, they always work in a team. Number two, they know each other. Number three, they know who does what at what time. So it's not that someone is now coming to communicate, do this, do this, do that. No, by then the 2 seconds is over and you are delaying the one racing. So what do they do? They've rehearsed countless times. They know how to optimize things, who stands between who and what. They just know what to do. So that's where the 1.8 second theory comes from. So there's a principle called the 1.8 theory. The principle has to do with ultra efficient handoff and where people, tools, system transition seamlessly. Okay, so we are looking at you as a human being, the tools that you are using, the systems in which you fall in, the transition and working together. There's a high synergy between all these things. And how does this apply to you? Number one, you need to break things down, break work down into micro moments. Okay. So when these guys are going to work, one person doesn't fix everything. Someone just takes a small portion, perfect that small portion, and then do it very fast. Number two, automate where it is possible. Think, test, build, deploy, monitor. It's just so simple. Standardized interface. There have been times where I work with teams, and then whenever there's a project, we don't even communicate because yeah, we communicate though, but it's just like yeah, someone tells us, okay, this is the gig. We all know what we are supposed to do, and the front end guy can start develop like his work even without knowing what the UI guy will do. He just knows that, oh, okay, this UI guy will go such a project, he will go for these buttons, he will go for that. This is the header he will use. This is not impeding innovation and creativity. but it's just like there is a high synergy in the GT wherever you are. Oh, sorry, his name is no longer GT. Oh, God's time. Sorry, I forgot your Ghanaian name. Yeah, I forgot your African name, not your Ghanaian name, your African name. Wherever you are, thank you for building such a wonderful team. Yeah. The mental model is that number one, the learning is a race. So see the learning as a race. So this is like you are building. We spoke about building mental model some time back. So we're just building on what we're doing. The mental model is that the learning is a race. Your mindset is the car. Each learning model is the tool. When you combine all this together, then you get the pit crew. We already spoke about the pit crew. They are the people who are in charge of changing the tire and then repairing the tire. Now, how does all this that I've spoken about fit into learning? Learning involves fast and then precise transitioning. If you are supposed to learn for an examination, if it is a textbook and you are supposed to write the exams in 3 weeks, if you don't finish learning the textbook before 3 weeks and you finish learning it in 1 year time, during the time of the exam, you'll not be able to perform. So speed also counts, like there's accuracy, direction, and speed. They all count in whatever thing that you are doing. So from one concept to the next. And another thing too is that the poor handoff between the learning phase. Example, people watch videos without practicing. No, build a synergy, automate things when it is possible. So build a synergy between you watching the video, reading the documentations, and then practicing. That is how you become perfect at it. And it's just like a bad pit stop that you delay. So whenever the pit stop delay is just like you watching the videos without practicing, you are likely to forget. So whenever you watch the videos, practice. You are learning a Python or you are taking a course in Python. Learn the Python, build a project, get feedback, keep the loop. Okay. Yeah. The next thing we want to talk about today is role fluidity in drills or the role fluidity drill. This is more like an exercise or a practice where um, you help people to adapt in shifting of their roles. So, example, you are an auditor in a company, then suddenly the finance guy is sick, he cannot be able to perform. It should be in a company with high synergy, it should be good that you have people who will not take over his work completely, but at least can just shadow in for him. Because remember, the entire team is a car. Individual in it are passengers. It's not advisable for a passenger in a car to try to run faster than the car. You all have to move together. So when or you see yourself as tires, there's no way one tire will be able to run faster than the other. So anytime one tire is failing, it is your duty as a team member, as a tire, to make sure you push other tires along. Okay, so that is more about the fluidity drill. And this can be in the form of doing pair programming. You write code with yourself, build a strong team, get to know how your other team members think. What decision will they take at a point in time? This helps your team to develop. And even in the absence of everybody, even if you have one person, he will be able to stand in the gap for everybody. I usually preach the message of building a T-headed skill set. Don't be an I. You only know one thing, graphic designing. No. Be more like a T. Go deep, but be a little broad. Know a little about AI, know a little about project management, know a little about a little, but be a master of one. Okay. or be a master of something, but to know a little about um yeah, and other things. Okay. So the debriefing to me, people call it post-mortem, but to me it is not post-mortem. To me it's post growth. Okay. Now, most often when you do post-mortem, there is no form of revival. It means the thing is dead, you've agreed, you killed you yourself, you even killed a person again, dissecting and everything. But the debriefing ritual, yeah, it's a debrief. They call it debriefing ritual. What the debriefing ritual does is that you have to review the entire project, review what you have learned. And just like in the Formula One, the F1 race, every race, whether they have won, they lost, um, the end of a structured team is a debrief. What did we do right? Those who do project management, or those who, depending on the project managing style that you use, those who do agile and the likes might have a review after each sprint. But this is something you should do basically in your life. See your life as a project and manage it. Yeah, it depends on you to do, but see your life as a project. I advise you do that. Maybe after every week, after every day, ask yourself, what did I do well? What didn't I do well? What did I miss? Ask yourself basic questions that can help you tailor um, your life. Why this matters? Now, this matters because it helps you to turn efforts into insights. Then you identify patterns, because definitely you have to ask yourself, um, what did I try? What didn't I try? What happened? Why? I saw a meme that a junior engineer, it worked and he was happy. Hey, it worked. And then for a senior engineer, it worked and it was like, why did it work? That's more like a debrief. You don't just focus on why it failed, but also ask yourself why there was success. Okay. Now, most often when it comes to debriefing, depending on whether it is my personal life or a project or whatever, I usually use the plenty W's and then the one H. That is, what did I do? What did we plan to do? So, number one, what did we do? What did we plan to do? So, what we planned to do was more like the intended action. Was our intended action the same as what we actually did? Then you ask yourself, what actually happened? Then what surprised us? What got us stuck? There are times that you don't even, it's normal that you plan a project without taking certain things into account, or you don't view certain things as things that are likely to happen, but at the end of the project or during the project you get stuck with those things that you never expected. Now, what will you do differently the next time? Just ask yourself these questions every day or after every week. Just ask yourself these questions. Trust me, it will help you. And write, right. Yeah. So the briefing template for a normal day activity. Number one, objective check. Okay. What did I accomplish today? What also you can start, what do I want to accomplish this week? This week. Then you ask yourself, what did I actually accomplish? So, how realistic is this? Then you can also have a realistic check. Then look at your pain points. Pain points. I will not talk about pain points today. The wins and highlights, very important. Okay, because the wins and the highlights will lead you to your goals and you knowing whether you've been able to do a good work or not. When it comes to learning, example, the learning gap and then the skill gap and then the learning triggers. What skill do I wish to learn at the moment? Did I Google something repeatedly? This is the question I always ask myself. What did I Google repeatedly this week? And sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, I over Googled this, then I over copied this code and pasted. but the essence is not for me to. Or there are certain things that you don't even need to learn them. They are more like generics. You just have to copy and paste. So it's yeah, and then always go for an adjustment. Okay, so today that's what I want to share with you today. That is the F1 lessons we've taken from the Formula One. There's a high synergy, and this has helped them. Aside the technical things that they do, the synergy between the team, they knowing who does what at what time, has helped them to replace 4 tires in less than 2 seconds. That's extremely wonderful. Now, teams fail sometimes, especially in sport and tech, not because they are not skilled, but because of things like they don't debrief. Example, I won't mention any sporting team, but there have been times where they are highly skilled people. Let me just make mention of Lakers. Yeah. The Lakers when they had Kobe and then O'Neal, they were too good to be in one team. And even though they had no specific beef about each other, one felt yes, one had to go to the other, another felt that no, I'm a member of my own. And the result is that anytime there's a synergy between Kobe and then Sharks, the team always wins an NBA. Like check history. Anytime Kobe and Shaq comes together, Lakers always win an NBA. Rest in peace, Kobe. So that is the lesson from that side. And another thing is that you have to develop a T-headed shape. Don't just focus on one thing that you are um, just a data scientist or you are just a Power BI guy. You don't know anything about anything aside Power BI. You don't know anything again. And I also advise you try working with some startups because startups you have the opportunity to work on things that are not even um, in your space. So you can have a software engineer helping with data related stuff. This will rarely happen in big companies where people have clearly defined goals. So these are some of the few things I want to share with you today. So the goal is also to move fast and do it rapidly, but in as much as we are moving very fast, remember to always do a debrief to know what is wrong and what is right. Okay. Thank you very much for joining today's session. Bye.